Hello, everyone. My name is John, and welcome back to the channel. Now, today we're going to be talking about the lawsuit that California just filed against some of the biggest food and beverage manufacturers on earth. This is a big deal. And what's the allegation that they filed against these companies? The allegation is that they are using or have used deceptive marketing practices and tactics not only against adult, but kids as well. Not even the kids are off limits, all for the sake of profit. And I'm going to show you some of the evidence that they're bringing to the table in this lawsuit. And not only that, how these food and beverage manufacturers are using some of the exact same tactics that the tobacco industry use. Now, this lawsuit is not suing because they are selling these unhealthy products. It's suing because of the marketing tactics that they're using to sell these products. So they know that these products that they're selling are not healthy. They know that, but it's the tactics that they're using to sell it. Now, without getting into the backroom deals and all of the lobbying and all of that stuff that goes on behind the scenes that we don't know about, we do know about. We just don't know the behind-the-door operations that's going on and the deals that's being made. But we do know for a fact that there is a lot of lobbying going on because there's billions of dollars spent on lobbying. And they're not spending this money and not getting an ROI. They're getting a return on their investment. But the truth is that these companies are using some of the biggest loopholes that's in our FDA guidelines to get some of these unhealthy products in our supermarkets in the first place. And that in and of itself is part of the marketing. Because when you look at some of these labels on some of these products and you see the words natural flavors, some of these products you'll see natural flavors 2 or 3 different times. It's like, wait a minute, natural flavors, and then you'll read on and then another natural flavors and then another natural flavors. Well, what's this natural flavor? It's a loophole. It's a marketing strategy that they are using to hide the chemicals that they're putting in that product. That's part of the lawsuit. So you can take something like tree bark and make strawberry flavor out of it. Why? Because it started from a natural product. Even though it has no strawberries in it, at the end of the day, once I've added all of these chemicals to it, I can call it natural flavor or natural strawberries flavor specifically, even though it has no strawberries in it. But this is part of the marketing. And the loopholes in the FDA guidelines allow this to happen. No added sugar. A lot of people don't know what that means, but no added sugar, you can have starches and other chemicals in there that'll spike your blood glucose way higher than sugar. And even though it's in the ingredient list, it's technically not sugar according to the FDA guidelines, but it's worse than sugar. But we can call it no sugar. Heart healthy on some of these bottles. It's a heart attack in a bottle, but we can put right on the front of the bottle, heart healthy. Some of these seed oils, canola oil, all marketing tactics. And this is why they're getting sued for this. One of the most egregious things in this lawsuit, and if you read this filing, it's fascinating, is the targeting of kids. They are targeting kids in their marketing because guess what? The kids are going to influence the parents. So when children are sitting down and they're watching their Saturday morning cartoons, when they go to a commercial break, they have all of these colorful characters and all of this stuff that attract kids and market products to them that they know without question is harmful to these children. They know it. So right here on page 35, under C, Big Food targets kids to cultivate lifelong UPF customers. So they want to indoctrinate these kids right off the bat to eating these ultra-processed foods. So they're targeting the kids with these commercials, and the kids are influencing the parents to buy them these things that they're seeing in these commercials. Defendants target children with UPF marketing for the same reason that Big Tobacco targeted children with cigarette marketing, UPF companies like defendants view young people as potential lifelong loyal customers. Marketing designs to hook young people on their products represent a highly profitable investment, while potential regulations of food marketing to adolescents present a significant business risk. Now watch this, 167. Big Food's approach to UPF marketing was to maximize sales to children who are vulnerable and not fully capable of making informed decisions. As Philip Morris, CFO, bragged in 1987, we've decided to focus our marketing on kids where we know our strength is greatest. So not even kids are out of bounds, which is why our obesity rate, even among children, is so high, because we're feeding this to them in the morning, all these colorful boxes with Cheerios and milk and toast and orange juice, all of this stuff that we know, or rather they know, is unhealthy for them. And so now when they get to school, well, guess what they have for lunch? Processed foods. So they go to school jacked up on sugar first thing in the morning, and then for lunch we're feeding them more foods that's going to damage their health. But they taste good. They look good on cartoons and the commercials. And despite the fact that it's damaging, it's profitable. So they keep on selling it. So why is California filing this lawsuit, and why now? Well, for several reasons. One of the main reasons is because of the obesity rate. California spends about $89.5 billion every year on obesity-related health care and other costs. Type 2 diabetes alone costs California about $47.5 billion a year, including $31.4 billion in direct medical expenses. So the foods that these companies are selling people is crippling the economy of the state. And not only the economy of California, this is national. This is a United States of America problem. California is just the first one to throw their hat in the ring to try to do something about it. And I gotta tell you, I believe personally, this is just the first shoe to drop. There is more to come. A lot more to come. Now, here's the kicker. If some of this stuff sounds familiar, it's because it is. Now, R.J. Reynolds, which is one of the largest and the most popular tobacco companies back in the 60s, with stuff like Winston cigarettes and Camels and all of that. Well, that was so successful that they decided they would go into the food industry as well. And so when they came into the food industry, not only did they bring their success with tobacco, but they also brought the same playbook. So if all of this stuff with the food industry sounds familiar, that's because it is. They are using the exact same marketing tactics and strategies to sell this product to people, knowing, just like the tobacco industry, that this thing was bad for people's health. So these ultra-processed food companies know that this stuff is bad for people's health, which is part of why the lawsuit filed by California is so important. So what is these ultra-processed foods, and why are they so damaging to people's health? I think the article on publichealth.edu says it perfectly. They're taking the natural products and they're bringing them into a factory, pulverizing them, completely dismantling this natural product, whatever it is, orange, apple, whatever it is. And they're breaking it down, they're pulverizing it, and they're adding in starches, they're adding in dyes, they're adding in all of these chemicals and reassembling it into an ultra-processed food, which is going to affect how your body metabolizes it. So in its natural state, when you take a bite out of something natural, before it's been ultra-processed, the enzymes in your saliva starts to break it down. Before you digest it, before you swallow it rather, you're already digesting it. So what happens when you pulverize this thing and add all of these chemicals and you add all this stuff into it, it takes away the fiber, the effects of the fiber in that food. And so it's already in your bloodstream lightning fast because it's been pulverized. You don't have to chew it and start breaking it down like you would if in its natural state. So it's immediately absorbed. It's got some bad ingredients in it, and it is in your bloodstream instantly. And what does it do? Spike your blood glucose level, which triggers insulin. And you do that over and over and over, day after day, year after year. It's going to lead to metabolic dysfunction and ultimately type 2 diabetes. This is why this lawsuit was filed. And this is what it's up against. Now, a lot of this can be avoided with reforming the GRAS framework. This is where a lot of the problems come, and these companies are using the loopholes in this GRAS framework to get a lot of these chemicals into our food supply and into our grocery stores. So think about this. So you make some chocolate chip cookies. You're not that great of a cook, okay? But you make these cookies. And these cookies that you just made is going to be judged by two people. One of those people is your first cousin that you grew up with. Another one is a stranger from out of state, don't know anything about you or anybody else. Whether your chocolate chip cookies can be sold in the store or not is going to be determined by one of these two people. Who are you going to choose to judge your chocolate chip cookies, whether they're good or not? It's probably going to be your relative. This is the problem with the GRAS loophole. These companies, instead of the FDA determining whether or not the chemicals that these companies are putting in this product, the companies themselves get to make that determination. So they can tell the government that they've had this thing approved by their own scientists or chemists or whatever, and that they've approved this chemical and said that it's safe, and they can put it in the grocery store tomorrow. So let me ask you this. Do you think they're going to choose someone who says that this multi-billion-dollar chemical that you're putting in this product that you're about to sell is not safe? No. And this is how 99% of the chemicals that's approved end up in our products and in our grocery stores. So this GRAS framework needs reform. This is where a lot of the problem stems from. It needs to be reformed. Now, in the recent years, the food pyramid has come into focus as well, because guess what's at the base of the food pyramid? 6 to 11 servings of grains, pastas, breads, rice, and all of these processed foods. Not one of them natural. Not one. All of the natural foods, meats and dairy and fruit and vegetables, and all of that is further up the pyramid. And at the very top of that pyramid is fats. Now, if you've seen any of my content, you know that I focus on insulin. You control insulin, you control weight, and you can control your health. If you control your insulin, well, guess what spikes your insulin the least on the pyramid? On our dietary pyramid, what spikes your insulin the least? The thing that's at the very tip of that pyramid, which is fat. And we're told eat little to none of that. But guess what spikes your insulin more than anything? The stuff that's on the base. So the pyramid is problematic. And you have, in the recent years, people talking about turning that pyramid upside down where fat is on the bottom. Why? Because it spikes insulin the least of any other categories on the pyramid. Now, this lawsuit is the first of its kind. Where it go, we don't know. We don't know yet. But I just have a feeling that it's not the only one of its kind. There's going to be more to come. And I think this thing is going to snowball. It's going to get bigger. And it's going to bring a lot of awareness to a lot of people to understand the food that we're eating, the food that we're consuming. Because there's about 69 to 70% of the foods or the calories that we're consuming is processed foods. That's a problem. That's a big problem. And so it needs to be addressed. And I think this is just bringing it into the light. It's forcing it out into the light for us to talk about and discuss and understand. So I think it's a good thing. Where it goes, we don't know yet. But we'll see. So I hope that helps. Thank you for watching. I appreciate your time. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to my channel. Bye for now.